Alright, settle down, you internet fiends. You doom-scrolling denizens of the digital swamp. You think you've seen it all? Don't you? You think you've plumbed the depths of human depravity and ingenuity combined? You've scrolled past artisanal cheese boards that look like they belong in a museum? Sure. You've watched a grown man recreate the entirety of Bohemian Rhapsody using only farts and a kazoo. I get it. You've even seen your grandma try to. The internet has shown us things that would make the ancient Romans blush and the Victorians spontaneously combust. But let me tell you, there's a meme floating around out there. A thought experiment so profoundly unhinged, so utterly, gloriously, disturbingly correct, that it stopped me dead in my tracks. It made me put down my artisanal kale smoothie and actually think, the meme, my friends, posits this. Benjamin Franklin's OnlyFans would have broken the internet. And you know what? It wouldn't have just broken the internet. It would have shattered reality. It would have caused a paradox that would make your head spin faster than a Colonial butter churn after a pint of hard cider. Benjamin Franklin on the mere phrase is a philosophical treatise, a comedic goldmine, and a deeply unsettling look into the human condition all rolled into one poorly photoshopped image. Think about it. We venerate these guys, right? Founding fathers, pillars of liberty, faces on our money. For crying out loud, we learn about them in school, all powdered wigs and serious pronouncements. Give me liberty or give me death. We hold these truths to be self-evident, all very noble, all very sanitized. Because if Benjamin Franklin had an OnlyFans, we wouldn't be talking about the Declaration of Independence anymore. We'd be talking about the Declaration of Indecency. Let's be honest. Ben Franklin was the architect, bro. The original before there were iPhones, he was out there flying kites in thunderstorms, risking electrocution just to prove a point. He was inventing bifocals, the Franklin stove, flexible catheters. Not exactly the stuff of thirst traps, I grant you. But he was always innovating. Always optimizing. Always pushing boundaries. The man basically invented the concept of disruption centuries before Silicon Valley turned it into a buzzword for another app that lets you order mediocre food to your doorstep. And let's not forget his legendary, shall we say, appetite for life. And by life, I mean women. Lots of them. He literally wrote an essay called Advice to a Young Man on the Proper Choosing of a Mistress. Not a wife, mind you. A mistress. The man was a polymath and a polyamorous mess. He was basically the George Clooney of colonial Philadelphia, if George Clooney also invented something useful and wore a fur hat. He was known for his charm, his wit, his insatiable curiosity, and his absolute refusal to be bound by conventional morality. He'd be sliding into DIMEs faster than a British spy could try to intercept his mail. So, imagine this pioneer of American independence, this intellectual titan, this dude who literally signed the documents that created this country, setting up a profile on a platform designed for monetizing your personal brand, usually through personal content. What would his bio even say? Founding father, inventor, diplomat, proud owner of a powerful electrical charge and other things. DM for custom content. Subscriber perks include early access to my newest pamphlet on colonial plumbing techniques and more. His profile picture? Definitely not the stately portrait we all know. No, it would be a slightly disheveled Ben, maybe with a knowing wink, holding a kite string, lightning crackling artistically in the background. Or perhaps one of those classic mirror selfies, but with a highly polished silver platter. Or maybe even a meticulously staged photo of him adjusting his bifocals, looking thoughtful, but with a strategically placed open book covering just enough, leaving just enough to the imagination. That's premium content, folks! That's viral marketing 101! And the content itself, oh! The content? We're talking about a man who was obsessed with self-improvement, with virtue, with the pursuit of knowledge, so his OnlyFans wouldn't just be explicit. It would be educational. He'd probably start with a series called Virtuous Vixens, a gentleman's guide to enlightenment and other pursuits. Each tier of subscription would unlock progressively more intimate insights into his philosophy. The free preview? A philosophical discussion on the merits of early rising, delivered while he's shirtless, adjusting a very old, very heavy blanket. Silver Tear, a weekly Ask Me Anything session where he answers questions about diplomacy, scientific experiments, and the proper way to conduct an affair with a French noblewoman. Gold Tier! Oh, that's where things get interesting! That's where you get access to Ben's his personal essays and poems, some of which were already pretty racy for the 18th century. Imagine those in a private, encrypted chat. And the Diamond Tier? That's where he starts showing off his inventions. Not just the Franklin stove, mind you, but perhaps a new kind of ergonomic chaise lounge designed for clandestine meetings, or a vibrating prostate stimulator powered by static electricity from a cat's fur. You laugh, but you know Ben Franklin would have been the first to think of it. He was always looking for ways to improve comfort, health, and general human experience. And let's be real, a lot of that experience involves what happens after dark. The colonial dark humor here writes itself. Folks, imagine the comments section. John Adams, red-faced and sputtering, typing furiously. Good God, sir! Have you no decency? This is an affront to the nascent republic. Thomas Jefferson, more subtly, sending a cryptic DM. Dear Franklin, a most enlightening session today. I find your theories on natural selection particularly compelling. Perhaps we might discuss the practical application of said theories at Monticello, sans Martha. Alexander Hamilton, the ambitious young upstart, trying to network. Mr. Franklin, a most innovative approach to public discourse. Might I interest you in investing in my new national bank? Perhaps we could collaborate on a piece on fiscal policy. Perhaps something with less fabric. And the logistics. Oh, the glorious, grimy, unhygienic logistics of a Colonial OnlyFans. There's no internet, obviously. So, how does the content get delivered? Scurrying mice with tiny USB drives strapped to their backs. Carrier pigeons, but instead of messages, they're carrying delicate daguerreotypes of Ben in various stages of undress. A network of extremely trusted and probably very traumatized couriers delivering wax-sealed envelopes full of sensitive materials across the 13 colonies. And the payment? Forget credit card processing. We're talking about payments in beaver pelts, in bushels of wheat, in promises of future political favors. And the hygiene, people. We're romanticizing this a bit. This is pre-indoor plumbing. Ben Franklin, this is take a bath once a month whether you need it or not. Ben Franklin, this is smallpox, it's just a fact of life. Ben Franklin, his OnlyFans would come with an entirely new set of trigger warnings. May contain traces of historical grime. Viewer discretion, advised for authentic body odors. Not responsible for transmission of colonial-era diseases through shared screens. You'd need a hazmat suit just to imagine the content. The only thing that would break the internet faster than his actual content would be the sheer amount of hand sanitizer people would need after viewing it. But that's the dark humor, isn't it? We project our modern sensibilities, our sleek tech, our filtered realities onto these historical figures, and the contrast is just chef's kiss. It exposes the raw, messy, carnal truth of human nature that hasn't really changed in centuries. We like to think we're so evolved, but we're still just apes. Who figured out how to make a TikTok? And Ben Franklin. He was just an ape who figured out how to make electricity and seduce half of Europe. The man was ahead of his time in every conceivable way, even in his potential for viral content. He was the ultimate disruptor. He literally helped disrupt an entire empire. So, of course, he'd be pioneering the monetization of personal brand. He understood human psychology. He knew what people wanted. Novelty, titillation, intellectual stimulation, and a good laugh. He bundled it all together. He was doing brand partnerships before brands even existed. He was the original thought leader and a sex-positive icon. before those terms were even invented. Imagine the viral moments. A video of him demonstrating static electricity, but instead of the lightning rod, he's using something else. A series of get ready with me videos showing off his signature fur hat and explaining the political advantages of looking both distinguished and slightly eccentric. His morning routine would involve a rigorous schedule of scientific experiments, pamphlet writing, and meetings that may or may not have involved a lot of candlelight and heavy breathing. And the scandalous leaks. You know, some disgruntled apprentice would try to bootleg his content, selling pirated copies of Benzabadi ballads on parchment scrolls in the taverns of Boston. There would be a whole underground economy for illicit Ben Franklin content. The British would probably try to use it as propaganda against the revolutionaries. Look at these depraved Americans. Their leaders are selling their virtue for $1 a month. And Ben would probably just wink and say, well, it is an innovative revenue stream for the public good. Wouldn't you agree? This meme isn't just a joke. It's a commentary on celebrity, on the commodification of self, and on the eternal human desire to peek behind the curtain. It's about how we mythologize historical figures, sanding down their rough edges, ignoring their very human flaws and desires, just to fit them into a neat narrative. But Ben Franklin, bless his Randy, brilliant heart, would have laughed in the face of such neatness. He would have embraced the chaos. He would have monetized the chaos. And that's the genius of it. He was already a brand. Poor Richard's Almanac was basically an early form of viral content. It was witty, it was informative, it was shareable, and it had a strong personal brand attached. And OnlyFans would simply be the logical, technologically advanced next step for a man who was always looking for the next big thing. The next way to connect. The next way to influence. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other historical figures would have broken the internet with their digital exploits? Shakespeare's TikToks, Marie Antoinette's Julius Caesar's fit checks on Instagram. The possibilities are horrifying and hilarious. But Ben Franklin, he's the king. He's the undisputed heavyweight champion of potential historical OnlyFans content. Because he combined the intellect, the innovation, and the absolute lack of shame necessary to truly make it big. He didn't just want to found a country. He wanted to entertain it, to provoke it, and maybe, just maybe, to get a little extra coin for his retirement fund by showing off his asset. This meme, this beautiful, terrible meme, forces us to confront the fact that our heroes were just people. Messy, complicated, horny, brilliant people, and given the tools, they probably would have exploited those tools for fame, fortune, and maybe a little bit of historical trolling. Just like we do today! So, here's my call to action. My fellow voyeurs of history and purveyors of digital absurdity. This isn't just about a laugh. It's about a conversation. It's about questioning the sanitized versions of history we're fed. It's about acknowledging the inherent, often hilarious, humanness of it all. I want you to go out there right now after this show. I want you to find that meme. I want you to share it. I want you to comment on it. I want you to tag every history teacher you've ever had. I want you to start a debate in your family group chat. Because if we don't talk about Benjamin Franklin's hypothetical OnlyFans, then what are we talking about? What even is the internet for, if not to ponder these profound, unsettling truths? Let's break the internet with this idea, just like Ben Franklin would have. Let's make him proud. Let's ensure his legacy is not just about kites and bifocals, but about the unparalleled, unadulterated, utterly shareable content he would have provided. Go forth, my disciples of historical thirst, and share the gospel of Ben.